I'm coming to draft a pencil skirt. I'm gonna attach it to a bustier to make a dress. Yeah. So first off, I have okay. I wanted to tell you guys the last time. This part of any fabric is called the selvage. Selvage. Selvage mean SEL. Okay. VEDGE. So selvage. So this part is called the selvage. African print, I am draw wax print, then that's a selvage. Yeah. So that's the only part of the fabric that is usually some of them are finished on their own. Hey, my boy watch time machine. Yeah. So usually that part's not meant to be part of whatever you are cutting. So I'm gonna start measuring from the tip, the beginning of the selvage, right? And then I'll first measure the skirt length. So I want to do 33. I want to do it 33, right? So I'll first measure my skirt length. Then I measure the waist to hip, depending on the person's hip. You guys have to remind me, like, for the standard measurements, because I'm going to use a standard measurement. So depending on the hip, the person's hip is 42.5. Yes. So I would use a waist to hip of say 10.5 and quarter. Yeah, for that person, for that hip. So I'm gonna stand at my selvage again and measure my 10.5 and quarter. Then I would square it across that way. Yeah. So from there, I'm coming to plot my dart. So I want to use 4 inches for her dart width. And then I'll use half and quarter, measuring that apart. Okay. Then I'm going to come down by 6 inches for the height of the dart. So I'm just plotting my dart, which you guys by now should already know how to do. Yeah. So from there, I'm just gonna divide the person's waist by what? 4. So her waist is, I think, 30. So divided by 4 will give me 7.5. 15, yeah. 7.5. Then I add back the dart width. So the dart width becomes 1.5. 1.5 plus 7.5. That's what? 9. Okay. So I'm gonna measure my 9 here. Then I come to the hip. The hip is 42. 42. So 42 divided by 4. Even this one, I want to give her 43. 43, but you let me stick to the 42. So 21. That's giving me what? 10.5. 10.5. And then standardly, if you want to taper, that process of reducing the hem of a pencil skirt is called tapering. If it's even a trousers, say around the ankle, say what is one eye straighter, that's called what? Tapering. So making smaller an area, that whole process is called what? Tapering. So if someone says, I want a tapered skirt or a tapered pants, you know that that's what the person is talking about, open a pencil. So yeah, standardly taking off 2 inches from the hip measurement for the hem as a tapered skirt or a pencil skirt or a column skirt works if you're taking off 2 inches. But open more pencil like pad, yeah, you can go 2.5 or 3. It all depends on you. And one thing you need to know as a designer is the smaller the hem, okay, the higher the back slit you have to give because of what movement. Uh-huh. So standardly, for the back slit, if it's a skirt that is to the knee, standardly, through 7 inches, it works. It gives the person the ease to walk. So let your friend say you're holding the hem for like 3 inches. That means you can't do 7 inches because it will be too tight for the person to walk. Obviously, while the person is that petre petre, or pen pencil pan, on pencil ben nanti or nanti on pencil betutu, then you can do the 7 now for the person. Yeah,
You can do that 3 or 7.
the 7.
Okay, okay,
So
for
you
the
can do the
slits.
3 and do the
Yeah.
7 for
Okay.
the slit. Yeah. So now for this one, the person's hip was what 10.5. So I'm gonna reduce it by 2.5. By 2.5. So that will give me one, two. That will give me 8. Okay. So from here, I think that's a long way. So I'm just gonna join that. Okay, so for you guys, in the curves that you guys have, we have a hip curve. So because you are now learning or you probably don't have all the experience yet, you'd always have to use your hip curve, okay, to blend out your hip. If the person is an extremely curvy person, you can always add some inches. In terms of any hip here 50, now we divided by 4, okay, and let's say it's what 50 divided by 4, that's what 25. That will be 12.5. So the person's hip divided by 4 is 12.5. And then maybe the person's waist divided by 4 is maybe 9. That's an extremely curvy person. They are no sano. Like the curve is so obvious. Okay. With or without the dance. The person's curves are like already in your face. So that one, me, I can go by, I'll make it 13. I'll add half inch to the hip. 13, no. Then I plot it. When I plot it, I plot 13 over here. I plot 13 over here. And this is the person's waist. Just imagine. Just look at this curve. Okay? And let's say I'm coming to join it to. I'm coming to join it to the 3, the 2.5 that I marked. I'm just trying to show you guys a technique to prevent like those by force hips. So yeah, the person's actual hip is what 12.5, but my own is 13. So I'll use the curve or my hand to blend out for it to sit at the what 12.5. Does it make sense? Yeah. So I'll use the curve, the hip curve, or I'll just use my free hand to blend out for it to come back and sit at the 12.5. If not, like we are the 12.5 in straight, now it will become pointy. Yeah. So that's a tip or a trick. Yeah. So now, this is what we're doing. This person is my extremely curvy, so I mean, I can work it out even when I'm stitching. I'll just know what to do. So pretty much that's that. What you have to do is now add your allowance. So if you want to give 2 inches allowance, 2 inches allowance. For my pencil skirts, sometimes I don't like to give so much allowance at the hem. So usually sometimes a pencil or a mermaid skirt. Yeah, me ma hip two krana waist two kotodwe hono. I would prefer to do 1 or 1 and 1/4 or something because that place is an extreme curve or it's a very important part of the skirt. You don't want the place looking bulky or baggy. Yeah. So that's the reason why I would do that. Yes. So pretty much That's that. When you cut it out and then you turn to the other side, just repeat your dot, plot the same dot that you plotted for this part, and then you are good to go. That's that for your
Are we
pencil
going to
skirt.
leave 1 inch for zipper area?
Yes, that's the only thing that will change. That's the only thing that will change. So when you cut this out, just mark out and you fold again. Just mark out 1 inch and place your center front line on that 1 inch and cut out the same thing, and you're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I cut this?
So the same thing, the same dot width and everything. Yeah. So that's that.